All right, so here we go. It's time to talk about this brand new third-person open-world cyberpunk action game called Vigilance 2099, and it looks really impressive. It is, of course, influenced by Cyberpunk 2077, but most notably, Prey 2. You guys may remember the original Prey 2 prototype was very much cyberpunk themed, based around bounty hunting and stuff like that. This game is going all in on those features. Plus, it looks like it's going to have some cool parkour features as well, as you can see here. So you're going to be seeing some brand new gameplay that you've never seen before from Vigilance in this video. So let's do this. Hey everyone, what's happening? Open World Games here. Hope you're doing good, and we are talking about Vigilance 2099. We have a brand new fact straight from the development team, so let's dive in and see what this game is all about, shall we? So let's do this. So, what is the game all about? That's a big first question. So Vigilance 2099 is about an ex-fed that finds himself at the bottom of a crime-filled city, taking any bounty jobs that come their way so that they can use their skills from the force to hunt down and kill capture bounties for rewards. They think that they will find some answers by climbing up the criminal ladder and making deals with different mega corporations. It already sounds interesting, of course, and if you're somewhat like a fan of Cyberpunk, or if you wanted to continue the Cyberpunk themed games, this will definitely interest you for sure. Now, there's a total of 3 people working on Vigilance, by the way. Hopefully that does expand to alleviate the pressures of development and things like that. We'll see what happens with that, so I'll keep you guys updated, of course. They also ask, what stage of development is Vigilance in? It is currently in the late prototype stages, and it's looking really impressive so far, considering that it is still in a prototype stage. Now, they're also wondering if they're going to be doing a Kickstarter with this one. They're actually in touch with many different publishers right now, and they are considering a Kickstarter on top of this. Now, let's talk a little bit more about the open world as well. Here's a little bit of a glimpse of what they are going for. Now, this is really early footage right here. Now, they go on to say this: the game will be a decently sized open world. The city will be split into 3 distinct sections, stacking on top of one another. The wealthiest at the top, middle class in the middle section, and the most unfortunate at the bottom. We want to avoid having a large world just for the sake of it, making ground level of each sector feel tight, yet content filled is our main goal. And I love this approach. You know, I always speak about Deus Ex, Human Revolution. Wasn't the biggest world, but very fleshed out, very detailed. Another game I always look to is Metro Exodus. Not the biggest open world or open sections, I guess you would say, but they nailed it with providing content and making it feel very realistic. And one thing I want to know is how dark and gritty this world feels. It very much feels like you're in Blade Runner, the video game, for sure. And this is very early footage right here from, I think, over a year ago, what you are seeing right now. And from the more recent gameplay that they have shown, they've actually updated the lighting engine to really show the details of their characters, their environment, so you can see they're more confident in their actual characters and environments by doing that. Now, let's talk about what features will be in the game. We're going to get into the outlaw system in just a moment. That's the key feature I cannot wait to talk about in just a moment. Now, they say this: we don't want to overpromise anything, as we know what that could cause, especially since we are so early in development. However, currently a feature list is as follows: driving, air models, or ground vehicles, so you can actually, I guess you'd say fly cars or drive on the ground. And then we have parkour, we have shooting. You did get to see some of the actual parkour and the CQC stuff going on here, which looks actually really fleshed out, and I'm loving the animations of this, by the way. Of course, you're going to have shooting, you're going to have slight hand-to-hand combat, takedowns, and counters. There's also a clip that I did find of this game where you can actually take your own hostage, which is very interesting. Now, I don't know if that's going to tie into this feature that they mentioned or not. Interrogations are going to be a feature where you can interrogate NPCs and bounties. I'm assuming that this could potentially tie into that. Now, hacking will also be a part of this game as well, where you can actually take over drones or robots, I guess you would say, and actually hack them. They did show some gameplay of that as well. Now, it says negotiation. deals with bounties to accept alternate rewards to let them go. So it seems like once you get into the bounty hunt missions, you have the option of letting people go for an alternate reward, which, as I recall, was a system in Prey 2 that we were supposed to have. Again, really wish the original Prey 2 had come out. But anyway, now they talk about the standout feature. This is the big one right here, and it ties into this gameplay that you're about to see right here. So standout feature that's being worked on is what they call the Outlaw system. It is similar to the Nemesis system seen in the Shadow of Mordor war games. It will allow bounty targets that the player has escaped to remember and have upgrades when the player seeks out that bounty again. However, like I said, we don't want to overpromise. So this is one feature that it seems like they're apprehensive about promising, but it's one feature that it seems like they really want in the game. But this gameplay right here actually interested me because it shows off this tactical type mode. I don't know if this is going to make it into the final build of the game or not, but it kind of reminds me of what Fallout does with the VATS mode. So it's very interesting. Now they also show off some hacking gameplay as well. Now they say currently a basic version of every feature other than the Outlaw system is in the prototype and is being worked on. Of course, this is being made in the Unreal Engine 4. They're working on a version that's being tested for Unreal Engine 5 as well. Now, a lot of you guys are wondering, is this going to be predominantly single player or multiplayer? It is going to be single player at the moment. They put ... So they are indicating that perhaps they're curious about venturing into multiplayer, but my advice to them is stick to what you guys do best. Give us a good single-player Cyberpunk experience. Start off there. Now it says, will this game have customization? It says, yes, the game will have customization for the players and the vehicles. So that's interesting. And what you are seeing right here is the ability to, I think, hack into the system of some of these robots, which I think is really, really cool. Now, let's keep going. Let's talk about the release date. They say this. Any release date in mind right now? They said that they have one in mind, but not to be said publicly. We, as the developers, just have to work towards it, and when we are absolutely confident the game is playable and smooth as silk, we will announce a release date. And that's me quoting the dev team right here on their websites. Now, you're probably wondering what platforms will it be on. They say it's too soon to say, but they aim to have it available on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. That's assuming that they can hopefully get a good publisher, but even still, with how you can digitally publish to these platforms, they might be able to self-publish if they can figure it out for themselves. But it would be cool if they were picked up by a really, really good publisher for sure. Now they go on to ask this, what are their next steps? They said, we are actively working on finishing up and polishing the prototype. We're working on a website, mailing list, and Kickstarter page just in case we fully decide to go that route. So they have several options in front of them. I wish the best to this team, but let me tell you what, this is looking really, really cool and impressive. What you are seeing right here is some of the oldest gameplay that they debuted on their YouTube channel, and this is just them starting out, of course. And I'm so curious to see what happens with the future of Vigilance 2099. Could it outpace Cyberpunk 2077? We'll have to wait and see. It's been an interesting year for sure. For some of these games that have released, of course. So yeah, I'm going to keep you guys up to date on what is coming up for Cyberpunk themed games as well. So another one that did release that you guys may know that I did actually cover recently is The Ascent. And this one actually came out very recently, and it blew me away. I really, really love this game, and so far I think that there is room for more Cyberpunk themed games in the future. I want to see more Cyberpunk in gaming, especially in the open world universe. I suppose it would be very difficult to make these cities and structures for sure, as opposed to, you know, just drawing out a landscape with grass and forests. But yeah, hopefully we see more Cyberpunk games coming up here. Stay tuned here for more information about Vigilance 2099 and of course Cyberpunk 2077. I guys have you covered there. By the way, I have asked you guys this in the past, and I want to know, what other games would you like to see on the channel? I've heard so many opinions, and I just want to hear fresh thoughts on what you guys would like to see me cover. I do have some ideas about future games that are coming up here, but I'm also curious about games that are actually out right now that I could hop on and perhaps cover for you guys that you would love to see. So please sound off in the comments below for sure. But thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned for more Vigilance 2099, Cyberpunk 2077, and open world gaming goodness. And I will see you all next time. Take care.